I'd like to welcome everyone to this Impact Experience hosted by Parley and Chōsen. I want to open with a simple thank you. I want to start by thanking and introducing you to Cyrill Gutsch.
If I could become part of a movement, if I could contribute to something that is bigger than me, that would be extremely relaxing also.
We believe that the people that are on this call can determine a new vision for our future. Please go ahead, stand up, and I hand it over to Vanessa.
And today I'm going to guide you through only 5 minutes of getting present through breathing and stretching, an upper body mobility drill you can use anytime you need a break from your screen. Go and shake it out. Good job.
We are connected to the ocean. That's not a Hawaiian story or a native story. It's a species story.
And that's the collective environmental social responsibility and connection that we all share to this planet and to one another to look after each other.
Have an incredible weekend. Thank you everyone for being part of the journey today.
It's lovely meeting you.
Mahalo nui.
Take care.
Gutsch was named 2017 Environmentalist of the Year by Surf Industry Manufacturers Association for his tireless work for the oceans. And in 2018, Parley was named Environmental Organization of the Year at EarthX. And Cyrill was honored with a special recognition award by the British Fashion Council for Innovation. I want to go ahead and hand it over to Cyrill right now, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about Parley and his journey. Cyrill.
Oh, you know what? The lost causes are the only ones worth fighting for. And that moment, something happened in me. I felt like if I could become part of a movement, if I could contribute to something that is bigger than me, that would be extremely relaxing also. Because I would not anymore be scared that somebody copies my ideas. I wouldn't be scared that I'm not performing well enough. I just give my best every day and everybody else takes it from there. And if they join or if they compete, if they copy, it doesn't make a difference. It's just the energy that you put out. And to be honest, the last 8 years were the most challenging because I ask myself all the time over and over again, am I using the opportunity that I've been given in the right way? Am I talking to the right people? Am I suggesting the right things? Am I using the money that I have in the right way? So that's the biggest challenge for me really, is to live up to that opportunity that I have the luxury to actually fight for the sea.
I'd like to go ahead and introduce Cliff Kapono. He is a professional free surfer who uses his academic training to better understand and protect the ecology behind the best waves on the planet. Over the last 5 years, his surfing and research has catapulted him into the international spotlight, landing him on magazine covers, featured on national periodicals, and guest appearances on numerous radio talk shows. Cliff uses his occupation as a surfer scientist to celebrate higher forms of human environmental interaction.
And that surfers across the planet are more molecularly connected because of these compositions than those who aren't surfing or immersing themselves in the marine environment, which means us surfers are more related to each other in one sense than even your own family member that maybe doesn't ever frequent the ocean. And this is a pretty powerful statement. And not only are surfers more interconnected on a molecular level to each other, but the more we frequent the ocean, the more these signatures are present on our skin in what science calls a dose-dependent response. This data was the first time that I was able to accurately articulate, hey, Hawaii, that I am Hawaii, and I cannot be separated from that place, that it was celebrated on an international level, and it was an idea of my ancestors. It brought a complete sense of self-love that I've been searching for so many years. And, the more I look at the story, the more I understood it. It wasn't just about me or my people or indigenous people. Like, we are connected to the ocean. That's not a Hawaiian story or a native story. It's a species story. It's a planetary story. And hopefully we can begin to do the real work, not so much seeking the validation or saying, oh yeah, you believe me or you don't believe me, but just really grab on to that idea of, hey, Hawaii, hey, honua, I am the plant, I am this world on a molecular level. And if we truly care about ourselves, we're going to begin to take better care of the environment which we frequent.
While I introduce Greg Long, he's one of the best and most influential big wave surfers in the world. Within his community of surfing peers, he's also respected as one of the most prepared big wave surfers, dedicating immense amounts of time to physical and mental training, as well as ensuring that his equipment and safety preparations are of the highest standard. In 2012, this attention to detail saved his life.
And did my actions, outwardly express that enough that there would be no question in their mind, how much I value them, how much I love them. And then there's the whole, concept of accomplishments and achievements that I think society really impresses and puts this heavy-weighted importance on. For me, the contests that I had won, the world titles, the big wave championships, they didn't register at all. When I thought about my achievements and my accomplishments, I simply thought about the number of times in my life that I had actually worked to give something back to this world, to make it a better place. Now, don't get me wrong, goals and dreams and this life of surfing and the passions, that we all have are so important, that those are the guiding lights, that lead us to a lot of incredible life experience, education, and hopefully a lot of fun along the way. But again, from my personal experience, far greater than ever achieving those goals is simply the integrity with which we conduct ourselves every single day. The love that we share and what we give back to others.
I'm going to go ahead and introduce Robin Connolly, co-founder of Chōsen. I'm going to give you a little bit of information about Robin. She's been a clean tech VC since 2007. And when I first met her, she was the third-ranked kickboxer in America after having just passed the bar as the president of her law school class.
And the time is now for a reset. It is an ideal opportunity to reset personally, to make yourself the asset, the priority. Then define your values and your purpose, which I'm sure most of you on this call are very familiar with. That's why you're here today, and we appreciate that. Then we can move to reset the culture of the world and of society. This is so that life can be driven by inspiration, values, and interests, which, as Cliff was talking about earlier, connects back to how we lived before the Industrial Revolution. It's a new opportunity. There's also this new opportunity that we've never had before, which is based on the newest wave of innovation, which is how we're gathered here today.
Robin, thank you so much for that. And I love how connected all three keynotes were, even to the conversation that Cyrill had with us at the very beginning. You can see that the theme here is really about connecting back to yourself, connecting to nature and what's most important to you, and leaving an incredible impact on the world as people with agency.
It really comes, like anything to do with the environment really comes down to education. It really comes down to moving from a place of apathy to a place of empathy. And it really comes down to individuals being well. So that's why the overall topic of conversation here for today's session about the connection between inner wellness and sort of outer reality is something that is really, really, really critical. Because if we can't, if the individual is not well enough to get up and think, care about their brothers and sisters and mothers, or get up, even make their own bed, what are the chances of them thinking about plastics or pollution or oceans or orangutans or elephants? It's very, very slim. It's very slim. Or climate change, which is like this massive thing. So
change. So I think with all these Chōsen experiences and the amazing impact that it creates, my job in doing impact is not me necessarily being impactful, but to provide the platforms across the Asian countries we do business in, like Startup Impact Summit in Hong Kong, and then the next one coming up in Seoul in September, which I think will go ahead virtually. Again, provide platforms for experts such as yourselves, and Nadia, you look like a triple threat myself, right? So, right, Robin definitely is a triple threat, right? Again, to have all these amazing people educate young leaders, because ultimately, you know it, I know it, everyone on this call knows it, right? But the 1.3 billion youth, you know, between 13 and 18 in Asia, they want to know, but they have nowhere to go to.
I think the key to being able to, I guess, contribute and help or impact the world is really to understanding oneself first, and then after understanding oneself, you know, what resonates with each and every one of us to do more after that.